Ever wondered about the current state of India-China relations? How have they evolved over time? These two ancient civilizations, both rich in culture and history, have had a complex and multifaceted relationship. Understanding the dynamics between these two powerhouses is not only crucial for the countries themselves, but also has significant implications for the global political and economic landscape. From trade to territorial disputes, from shared interests to strategic rivalries, the India-China relationship is a fascinating study of interplay between cooperation and competition. Join us as we dive deep into the fascinating journey of India-China relations. To understand the present, one must first delve into the past. The India-China relationship has a deep-rooted history, spanning back to the 20th century. The dynamics of their relationship have been shaped by a sequence of key historical events. Their first major interaction in the modern era was in the 1950s, with the signing of the Panchsheel Treaty, a doctrine for peaceful coexistence. It was an era characterized by the famous Hindi-Chini bye-bye, or Indians and Chinese are brothers slogan. However, the warmth was short-lived. The 60s brought a chill in the relations, with the Indo-China War of 1962 over territorial disputes in the Himalayan border areas. This conflict significantly strained the relationship and led to decades of diplomatic coldness and mutual suspicion. In the 70s, the two countries started taking steps towards normalization, but the relationship remained fragile, influenced by China's strategic relationship with Pakistan, India's neighbor and rival. This was further complicated by China's nuclear tests in the late 90s, which sparked security concerns in India. The turn of the millennium saw a thaw, with both countries engaging in high-level diplomatic visits and trade agreements. Yet, the unresolved border issues continued to be a thorn in the relationship, leading to occasional military standoffs. The past decade has been marked by a complex dance of cooperation and conflict. On one hand, economic ties have grown, with China becoming one of India's largest trading partners. On the other hand, strategic competition has intensified, with border tensions escalating, most notably in 2020. These historical events have greatly influenced the current dynamics between the two nations. The relationship continues to be marked by a mix of cooperation and competition, underpinned by a long history of strategic mistrust. The future of this relationship will undeniably be shaped by their shared history and the lessons learned from it. Moving on to recent developments, there's much to discuss. Let's delve into the events that have impacted the India-China relationship. In the past few years, we've seen a noticeable increase in tensions between the two nations. The border conflicts are a significant part of this narrative, with both sides asserting their territorial claims. These disputes have resulted in standoffs, and sadly, even loss of life, adding a layer of strain to the relationship. But it's not just about territorial disputes. Trade issues have also come to the forefront. China's economic turmoil, despite not hampering its manufacturing dominance, has had implications for India. As the world's biggest exporter, China's market share of total U.S. imports has decreased, leading to a ripple effect on global trade dynamics. India, among other countries, has been influenced by this shift. The geopolitical influence of China is another aspect that has affected India-China relations. Billionaire investor Ray Dalio's warning about the US and China being dangerously close to a war over Taiwan has implications for India as well. A potential conflict between these superpowers could severely impact global economic growth, and India, with its close ties to both nations, is no exception. On the economic front, the diversification of companies and investors from China to other nations, including India, Vietnam, and Mexico, due to the potential US-China conflict, has altered the economic landscape. This shift has presented both challenges and opportunities for India. The political tensions between China and the US have also influenced India-China relations. Despite efforts to improve relations, signs of military preparation from China have heightened fears of conflict. This potential unrest adds another layer of complexity to India's diplomatic relations with both China and the US. In the midst of all this, it's interesting to note how certain sectors continue to engage with China. American fast food chains, for instance, continue to invest in China, despite the country's economic challenges. This highlights the complexity and multifaceted nature of global economic relations. These recent developments have added new dimensions to the India-China relationship. As we move forward, it will be fascinating to see how these dynamics evolve and shape the future of India-China ties. China's increasing global influence cannot be ignored. China, the world's second-largest economy, has been flexing its muscles on the global stage, both economically and militarily. Its economic dominance has been largely fueled by its role as the world's manufacturing powerhouse. Despite facing various challenges such as a real estate crisis, deflation, and weak consumer confidence, it continues to retain its dominant position in global manufacturing. This economic might has allowed China to strategically invest in third countries, maintaining its export dominance even as some countries shift their sourcing of imports. Yet, China's global influence extends beyond its economic prowess. The country's military expansion has raised eyebrows around the world. With increasing signs of military preparation, including calls for increased military training and warnings of a dangerous storm, fears of potential conflict have been heightened. This military posturing, particularly around Taiwan, has added another layer of complexity to the global geopolitical landscape. Now let's bring India into the picture. The rise of China has certainly reshaped its relationship with India in significant ways. On one hand, China's economic dominance has created opportunities for trade and investment. On the other hand, the military expansion has added a dimension of security concerns to the relationship. India, like other countries, finds itself navigating through this intricate web of economic opportunity and security challenges posed by China's rising influence. But it's not just about economics and military might. China's global influence also extends to its cultural exports. Take for instance the continued investment of American fast food chains like KFC, McDonald's, and Starbucks in China. They see potential in the vast Chinese market, despite the overall decline in foreign investment due to strained relations and security concerns. In conclusion, China's global influence is multifaceted, encompassing economic, military, and cultural aspects. And this influence has reshaped its relationship with India in significant ways. Whether it's in the realm of trade, security, or cultural exchange, the rise of China is a reality that India, and indeed the world, must contend with. China's global influence has reshaped its relationship with India in significant ways. What does the future hold for India-China relations? As we gaze into the crystal ball of geopolitics, a few potential scenarios emerge, each shaped by the complex interplay of political, economic, and military factors. Let's start with the political landscape. The escalating tensions between China and the US, particularly over Taiwan, could have a ripple effect on India-China relations. Renowned investor Ray Dalio has warned that the US and China are dangerously close to a conflict that could impact global economic growth. If such a conflict were to occur, it could force India to take a stand, potentially affecting its relations with both superpowers. Turning to the economy, despite the challenges China is facing, such as a real estate crisis and weak consumer confidence, it's not likely to lose its position as the world's top manufacturing powerhouse anytime soon. So what does this mean for India? As companies and investors diversify away from China due to these concerns, India could potentially emerge as an attractive alternative, given its large labor force and growing economy. Finally, the military aspect cannot be overlooked. The possibility of a full-blown conflict between the US and China raises questions about India's role and response. Its strategic location and growing military power could make it a key player in any potential conflict. However, it's important to remember that these are just scenarios. They are based on current trends and predictions, and the actual future could unfold differently. After all, the world of geopolitics is anything but predictable. What we can say with certainty is that India-China relations will continue to be shaped by a complex mix of cooperation and competition. Both countries, being major powers in the region, will have to navigate this intricate dance carefully, balancing their own national interests with regional stability and global peace. While uncertainty remains, the future of India-China relations will undoubtedly have significant global implications. In conclusion, India-China relations have experienced a storied journey. We've traced the intricate tapestry of their shared history, witnessing the ebbs and flows of cooperation and conflict. We've delved into the recent developments, noting the growing tensions but also the potential for mutual growth and understanding. We've also mapped China's expansive global influence, an influence that reaches beyond its borders to touch markets and economies worldwide. Its dominant position in global manufacturing, despite various internal challenges, is a testament to its strategic resilience. This resilience, however, has also fueled concerns of potential military conflicts, which could have severe implications for global economic growth. Looking ahead, future prospects for India-China relations seem to be set on a knife's edge, balancing between cooperation and competition. The potential for conflict over Taiwan, as predicted by renowned investor Ray Dalio, casts a long shadow over these prospects. Yet, the continued investment in China by American fast food chains, despite security concerns and strained relations, hints at the allure of the vast Chinese market. These multifaceted dynamics underline the complexity of the India-China relationship, a complexity that is mirrored in the global stage. Understanding the complexities of this relationship is crucial in today's interconnected world. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of India-China relations.